Hi everyone, Nigel here from Nigel's Modelling Bench with another review for you, and today we're going to look at the Kitty Hawk 1/32 scale OV-10 A/C Bronco. Start by saying thank you to all my subscribers, and thanks to all the people who've pledged money on Patreon. Thanks for all your comments, thanks for all your involvement, just thanks for everything, for taking a part and making this channel grow. And a little bit of news for you as well with regard to the Airfix 1/24 scale Hellcat. I've been in touch with Airfix 3 times with no response. Antics have come to me, Antics Model Shop, and the second they get their hands on one, it'll be in my hands and reviewed on this channel, and also probably built. And I'll drop everything except for the build alongs, and I'll do a build right the way through. There'll be no stopping, no giving up, no shelving it. It will be built right the way through, I promise, 100%. So basically, I've been asked a couple of times now to review this model because apparently there isn't much about it online. I purposely haven't looked because I haven't really even looked inside the box. I bought this when it first came out because I absolutely love these Vietnam aircraft, the Bird Dog, and the OV-10, is it, the twin boom Cessna, the twin prop Cessna. So yeah, I absolutely love them. This one was the first one that came out, and I've heard horror stories. I've heard that it's a bit of a pig to build. Maybe I'll have a go one day, I don't know. But I've been asked to do a review of it, so I thought I'd do a review. A bit about the aircraft. First started production in 1965, went into use in 1969, and was built all the way up to 1986, and only 360 were built. This one is the AC version. The A is the one we all know and love that was used in Vietnam. The C was apparently the export version for Thailand. So this kit has got all the options in it to make the A or the C. So let's have a look around the box first of all. We can see here's our 6 options we get. I'm just going to check that everything's in shot and not reflected in the camera. So yeah, we've got basically 6 options here. So we've got the US Air Force, Philippines, Thailand. Again, this is the US, and this is the US Air Force again. So we've got Marines. Well, one of those 3 there I think would be my choices. Maybe not the Thailand one. I do like the camouflage, but I would rather build it as a US aircraft because it's American aircraft. So there we go. We can see on the side of the box there 6 different marking options, and the kit number there is KH32004, 2015 kit. So I've had it 4 years now, believe it or not. And here's a larger version of the image on the other side, and it's showing there with an open engine cover. So that's pretty cool. So we've probably got detailed engines. As I say, I haven't really looked inside this box. So let's get it open and have a look and see what we get. As usual with Kitty Hawk kits, I've never built one actually, but I know they always put their canopies in a nice rigid box so they avoid them getting damaged. So in here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sprues in there, and then we've got our instructions and decals, and nice touch, and a little nose weight in there as well. So that's pretty cool. So let's just have a look at the instructions first of all. Get the decals up out of the way. And what I'll do is I'll move the camera to not get rid of reflection and get it better focused. Right, so back to the old lighting to get rid of this reflection issue. So people don't realise when they make these glossy documents how difficult they are to review for people like me with simple lighting systems. But anyway, so nice little instruction booklet there. I'm guessing it's sort of, what is it? It's just a bit smaller than A4 really. Nice glossy front on there. Again, it's all the information that's on the box with the code there and everything. And then straight in here we've got some colour call outs straight away for our weapons, and then for the actual the main box front livery, if you like, the number 28 US Marines aircraft. So that all looks very nice and in colour. And this is for the United States Air Force, Florida. I think this one is actually photographed on Wikipedia if you have a look. So basically, there we go. That's two of our call outs. So starting off here, we've got our call out here with all our sprues and our decal sheets there, nose weight, PE, and our clear parts. So that's all nice. And yes, it is all numbered if you've got a microscope. So straight into the cockpit, we're starting off with the seats. We've got multi-part seats, and they're giving us paint codes all the way through, which is a nice touch. And we've also got decals going on the seats there. Again, nice touch. So that's going to look pretty good. We've got some PE belts by the look of it. Then we're making up the cockpit control sticks and adding some bulkheads in. No rudder pedals that I can see at the moment. So there we go. That's all going together there. And then we're adding in the nose gear. That's going into the bottom of the cockpit there. I'm not sure if you could actually leave that out until we've actually got the main airframe built, because that's going to get knocked off. And then what's this? I'm guessing, oh, this is the area behind the cockpit, it looks like. So we've got an open area there with some radio gear, whatever that is. That could do with some livening up. And then we're going to put our nose halves together, and then we're going to start on the wing section. This is a central wing section, and we've got some flaps here. And then we're working on the instrument panel, which is a bit of an unusual way of doing things. Straight to the instrument panel and the coaming going onto the nose there, with the wing center section going on top. Then we're into our armaments, and we've got our machine guns here, which are nice. They got all the ammo belts and everything there in detail, and the ammo boxes, little pylons here, and then some more for the other side by the look of it. Something I did read about this aircraft, it's pretty much designed with its weapons kept on the centre line or as near to it for accuracy in aiming. So here's the tail section, or the back end of the fuselage, if you like. On the B version, this was actually clear, had no armaments, no pylons, and the B version had this clear because it was used as a drone tow, and the drone operator would sit in the back and look out through the tail. And then we've got the clear canopy part going on here onto the top, bridging that all together. I doubt if you want to be adding that at the moment. Then we've got some detail going underneath, and we've got no, this isn't underneath, sorry, this is the doors. These are the canopy side doors. Quite where they've shown that upside down, I don't know. And you've got them both sides by the look of it. So yeah, they can see them there as being open. Not quite sure you'd follow this build process, to be quite honest with you, because they are definitely going to get knocked off, as would the ends of the machine guns, as would the nose gear, as would the pitot tube, as would that antenna. So yeah, you're probably going to be darting around in the instructions quite a bit. Engine assembly looks like a nicely detailed little engine. We'll see what the plastic parts look like in a minute. And then we've got our main gear here. I know that aircraft do a brass gear set for this, and when I build it, I will probably buy that, because with these undercarriage where they've got the, you know, like an F-18 where you've got an angle there, they're often quite weak and can snap. So adding the once again adding the landing gear in there before we put the rear fuselage or the rear booms together, adding the engine onto the front. So yeah, not sure, possibly if we could put the undercarriage in after. It looks like we probably could. So you'd build up the whole thing and add your undercarriage after. Adding on the propeller, assembling the propeller here, and then we've got this is the engine cover here, so you've got the choice of having that open or closed by the look of it. And then this is main wing assembly by the look of it, and we're actually going to add the main wing assembly to the top of the boom. Okay, that's a bit different. And then we're going to start on the other side and do it all again for the other boom. And then coming along here, we're building up the other wing, adding that, and then we're just going to put it all together, and it's all going to fall together beautifully and align everything perfectly. Yeah, I don't think it is actually. And looking here, it looks like there is no real engagement between. It kind of looks like here, it's just the end of that wing panel there. It's just like ends, yeah, and then when you make the wing up here, that just ends and it just butts together. So it looks like that's going to need some rigidity or something in there, perhaps a piece of rod right through, perhaps a brass rod or a metal strip of some sort, because that is not going to go together well. I can't see that going together very well at all. And then we basically got all our weapons and tank assemblies and everything, and then we've got all our positions where we can have everything all on there like that. And then we've got a further 4 colour options here. So we've got the US Air Force here in the grey and 2 greens. Then we've got the Marines here in the green with the white wing section, which is quite attractive. And then we've got the Thai one here, which has got the camouflage all over, which looks very nice indeed. And then finally we've got here Philippines Air Force, and that again is camouflaged all over, but big white patches on the wings which look quite nice, or grey should I say, but they're almost white. So yeah, all in all, looks very nice, but looks like it might be a complete pain to build, especially if you follow the instructions as they ask you to build it. Let's have a look at some plastic. And the bit I normally forget, I say look at the plastic and I forget to look at the decals. So these all come bagged up. There's 2 sheets of decals there, 2 sheets of PE. I think we're only supposed to have 1, so it looks like I've lucked out there. And unfortunately the PE has been put in on top of the decal, so hopefully there's been no scratching going on. Oh no, there is a clear protective film over the decal, so that's nice. Nice touch. I've never seen that before. Glossy film instead of like the paper material. So they all look pretty nice. Nothing it says about who's printed them. It just says Kitty Hawk on here, so I don't know what they're like. But if we remove this plastic film, we can see they're very dull, very matte, and they look to be very thin as well. So I don't know what they'll be like, but they look like they might be very nice. So yeah, leave that protective film on there because that's going to help. And then we've got our other one here, the film's just come off, and that's got our instrument panels on there. I'm hoping we've got detailed instrument panels and not just flat plastic, because I think in this scale you'd be better off painting them or getting an aftermarket photo etch set for it. But yeah, it's all nice, all in register and all very clean. You can see there, I'll give you a close-up of those. Very nice indeed. So that's our decals. Let's get those straight back in the bag so they don't get damaged. And then we've got 2 sheets of photo etch here, which are encased in plastic. And according to the instructions, you should only have 1 of these, I think, because we've got our 2 harnesses. So yeah, we've got some spares there, which is a nice touch. So I'll just give you a close-up of that. You can see they've got harnesses, some grills, looks like maybe some wheel detail or engine detail, and then some other grills and meshes and things for different bits and pieces. So yeah, all very nice. So I'll put those back in the bag, but so I'll put them behind the decals. So that's all good. Right, let's have a look at this plastic. So as I said earlier, Canopy comes in a lovely protective box, and it's in a bag there. Let's have a look inside this bag and see what it's like. So it looks like the canopies come loose there off the sprue. That's always a problem. And we can see the clear parts are very nice. There's not much distortion in them. But there is some marking and some scratching. That looks like it's got a. Looks like there it's got a. They've been doing some work on polishing the mould or something. But you can see there's some definite sanding marks there behind my finger, in front of my finger. You can see there, and this one here, you can see when you look through it, it's very kind of, I don't know, lumpy and bumpy, if you like. And you can also see on here, because this is broken off, where it's broken off, it's crazed into the clear, so that's unfortunate. So yeah, always a problem when clear parts break off sprues, and also very poor design when they've put it like that on there, just like that. So it's obviously going to get broken off, isn't it? So yeah, they need a bit of work, a bit of polishing, perhaps a dip in some future or something. And I'm going to leave that out there and I'll put it all back together later with it wrapped up in tissue or something so it doesn't get damaged anymore. So let's have a look at these sprues here. First impressions, the plastic looks very cheap. Looks almost like, you know, the older kits that were many years ago that were just very, very soft, awful plastic. And we can see here straight away we've got some lovely surface detail. This is the main fuselage section, the nose, if you like, the cockpit goes in here, and we've got some lovely surface detail. The plastic feels quite hard, but it just looks cheap. But the moulding is nice. There's ejector pin marks all over the inside of the cockpit there, but they're quite shallow. There's only one there I think that's going to be seen, and we've got the same on that side there. And obviously the ejector pin marks on the inside here aren't going to matter at all. The thing that does concern me is these stretch marks. You've got these square knockout pins here, ejector pins, and you can see that where they've knocked out, they've actually affected the plastic. So we've got these stress marks. Now I don't know if they're going to show up through any paint. I doubt it, but doesn't look particularly good. It almost looks like it's cracked. Sorry guys, coughing there. And we've got our pylons here, and then we've got our rear tailplane. Is that what it's called on a twin boom aircraft? And then we've got our centre wing section there. And then these look like the underside of the wings, and that is basically, we've got this flange along the edge here, and that is our wing location. And you can see on the bottom underside of that, you've just got this butted up panel there. So I can show you close up. There you've got a flange on there, and that's all you've got to locate the wing on. So yeah, that's going to be fun. But we'll show you the detail on there. You've got some nice rivet detail going down the side. Very, very nice. Nice detail on that panel there. Some radio faces. I'm not sure about accuracy, I haven't got a clue. And also, as I say, I can't comment on fit because I haven't built it. But the actual detail of the parts looks quite nice. Got another little interior panel there by the look of it, some little bits and pieces. So yeah, all good. Got another small sprue here, and this looks like it's probably the one that's dedicated to the A or the D version. So this is the nose section here. So the D version, as we know, has a different nose, and then there's a nice, these are nicely moulded, slide moulded exhausts here. Instrument panel back there and instrument panel front faces. We do have the detail on there, so that's nice. But I do think with something with all the glass that this has got, this could do with an upgrade set for the cockpit or some photo etch or whatever. So we'll have to see what's about if I decide to build this. But we can see there we've got the side panels there where the exhausts go, and they're show you in close up. They're beautifully moulded, those exhausts. I'm not sure if they're correct or not, but they do look very nice. You could easily open them up with a drill and make them look a little bit more realistic. And yeah, again we've got the nose there with some nice panel lining and rivet detail on there. All very fine, some pylons. And then the back face of the instrument panel there, which is a nice touch. And there we go. And on to another big sprue here. And this is obviously the wings. So we've got a bit of flash and a bit of hairy plastic on the sprue there, but nothing on the actual parts. And then again we've got these main wing section joining, and you can see underneath there's a recess there for that flange, but this is literally just a butt joint. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. Not quite sure what they are. Some sort of pylon, I'm guessing, or are they flaps? They might be flaps. Flaps and ailerons. And then we've got this is obviously the elevator across the back there. Maybe that's some rudders, I'm not sure. We've got some wheel detail there, but again we've got some lovely surface detail on here, very, very fine indeed, all recessed, and some raised panelling, but all the panel lines and rivet detail is recessed. So yeah, very nice indeed. And then looking onto this sprue, this looks like it's a bit more complex. There's some greeblies and little odds and sods on here. And it looks like we get 2 of these. It looks like they're identical. Yes, so we've got 2 of those. So again, massive sprue injection point there. And here we've got our weapons loadout here, some machine guns. Bit flashy this sprue, some quite serious seam lines on everything. You can see all around the guns there, there's some flash present and a big seam sticking out. We've got all our fine detail here. This is some kind of engine mounting, I'm guessing. Here's our engines over here. So let's give you a walk around on this one close up. So we've got our spinners, some pylons by the look of it, and then some other little detail parts. And then we've got engine bulkhead there. Looks like the back end of some rocket pods or something. That's the engine intake front face, if you like. I'm assuming this here is the engine mounting system. Lots of little bits and pieces here. And then we've got some missiles, drop tanks. And then going over here, there's some engine covers. The details like, yep, it's got some detail on the inside, but covered in ejector pin marks. And we've got our engine detail there. And then spinners, or prop hubs, should I say. We've got some rocket bodies by the look of it, some bombs. Some bombs there, and then another engine cover, and then the actual engine intake underneath. If you want to do it closed up, I'm not sure how well it's going to fit. Might be alright, might not. It looks like that's the back of the seat there, so it looks like the parts are generally all over the place. Like if you're looking at the Bronco Schwerer Wehrmacht Schlappen, whatever it's called, the half track, they tend to sort of put all the parts together so that all of the parts for the engine are on one sprue, all of the parts for the suspension are like all over 2 sprues. It looks like this is sort of all over the place, so it's going to be a bit of a job to find it all. So here we've got another sprue which has got our, so we've got our wheels on here and a cockpit. So we've got a cockpit floor there, some nice raised detail. Got our main booms there with the fins. What I thought was a rudder obviously isn't, because it's already in there. Wheels here, they have got a little flat spot on them, but there's no real bulge to speak of. And then we've got our propeller blades. Is that? They look very small, but we have got 2 different types of propeller blades, and they look as though they may have some moulding issues. I'm not sure. Not sure what that is. Not sure what most of this is, if I'm honest, but this has got some detail on the inside of it here. That looks like some undercarriage parts. So yeah, that's all pretty cool. I'll just give you a close-up of that cockpit interior. You can see there you got some detail there, but you could add some levers and knobs and wiring and stuff to busy it up a bit. As I said, it definitely needs something because because it's so visible through all that glass. That can go back together later. And then finally we've got this sprue here, which is pretty much a mirror of the last one, other than we've got some drop tanks in place of the fuselage cockpit parts. So again, we've got propeller blades here, we've got our undercarriage legs, fronts of some missiles there, some greeblies, again wheels with flat spots. Not sure what that is, part of the centre section I'm guessing. Got a large drop tank there. Looks like this is probably part of the engine mounting system there. We've got some detail on the inside of it, ejector pin marks everywhere, ejector pin marks all over those parts there. I'm guessing they actually probably main gear bays, those parts there that I didn't know what they were just now. And that's our front gear bay, again full of ejector pin marks. Such a shame in this day and age. And we've got some ribbing detail there which looks like it's all been bent and pulled about coming out of the mould. So yeah, main front leg there by the look of it. So yeah, again, we've got some nice rivet detail. So there we have it, guys. That is the, oh, there's one more bit to show you. You've got this little weight here, which is just basically a cube of metal. Very nice touch. I always think it's a nice touch when manufacturers do that, because quite often finding the right amount of weight and finding where to put it and all that is can be a bit difficult. If you look at that B24 Liberator in 32nd scale, you'll see I've done some work on that and getting some nose weight into that one, and yeah, quite difficult. But no, there we have it. Overall, I don't know, 7 out of 10. If I actually built it, it would probably go down to 5 out of 10. It just looks like it's going to have issues. But there's nothing else out there for this kit in 32nd scale, and it will look beautiful built up. I've never actually seen one built. I've seen a picture of one built, but I've never actually seen one in the flesh. But it looks like it's going to need some work, and it's got a lot of these schoolboy errors here with the ejector pin marks, you know, in the undercarriage bays and stuff, and they're going to be quite difficult to hide. So maybe look at the Eduard sets. I'll certainly go and have a look at those now. They may well, in their sets, you know, completely replace all that, so you cut all that detail out, and then they give you brass sheets to go in there and get rid of all that. Okay, so this is an edit. I'm putting this in afterwards, and then we'll return back to the video. As I just mentioned, I said about those horrible ejector pin marks, and I mentioned that Eduard may have that sorted. I've gone straight to the Eduard website after doing this review, and I've seen on here that, as I thought they actually do, they give you a complete panelled out nose gear bay there, which covers all those horrible marks and everything everywhere. They've also got some panelling here which covers some marks on there, and then when you actually turn over, we had some marks on here, so it's covered all that as well. So yeah, all very nice. There were some marks on here. They've got a panel going on there to cover that. So yeah, that's the 32380. That's the exterior set. And then when we come to the cockpit, they're doing quite a lot here. They've put the levers in. If you're doing the build along with me on the Typhoon, all the levers are separate, and I was actually only commenting in an email to someone this morning. I wish they'd done them like this and put them all together, so you had this one set of fingers that went up through the holes, and there we go, they've done it on this. And then we've got a lot of detail going in the side of the cockpit there. The reason I've printed this off to show you, it's obviously there's an error in the kit, and they've got these raised side panels here. I can only assume this raised bit is for the D version, I don't know. But what Eduard have done here, they've actually told you to cut that away and replace it with this this sheet brass to make the cockpit more accurate for an A/C version. So that's really nice. What is unusual, I can't see any throttle levers. So that's a bit strange. And then we've got some more detail here for the actual instrument panels. So we're going to replace all that, those decals or whatever. And then they've also got the latches and that for the latch mechanisms for those massive side opening windows, which is nice. So yeah, all in all, this is probably definitely worth getting. And I've just looked on the Eduard site, and today is what, June the 16th, and until the 18th they've got a 20% off sale. So even the big Ed set for this is only like 30 quid. So I may get that ordered up. So yeah, but the exterior set definitely worth getting, just to sort of detail up those bays really. And you also get a lot of other stuff as well. This is only 2 sheets of 4 that I've printed out here. So anyway, let's go back to the original video now. So that's it. Thanks for looking. I do lots of reviews, lots of different types of kits. If you'd like to see a review of something in particular, let me know. If you'd like to see how I do video on something or other, then let me know. Just leave a message in the comments below. But again, thanks to the subscribers. Thanks for Patreon. If you're not for pledging money on Patreon, should I say, and if you're not already a subscriber, please hit that button down below and subscribe. And I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.